Hello guys and girls, Voices from the Dark here. Welcome back to more The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion with Marina Mistfire and her most adoring fan, who've currently found themselves in the city of Leyawiin. We were here in the last episode taking care of some fighter skill business with some drunkards at the inn, and while I still think they'll stand around there until we go and return to Coral with news of their sobering upness, they're gonna stay around and cause trouble. And so am I. We're actually gonna just not stay in town for very long. We have to plan our route, but before we do that, somebody's banging their head against the sign in the background there. It's gonna hurt in the morning. We need to plan our next route. We've traveled down south, and you can't really get further south than Leyawiin. So, where do we go from here? Well, if you remember, we did get a quest. I didn't set that as an active quest. We did get a quest from Umbacano, who now has a special mission for us. Nothing you can possess. Where we had to read a book which led us to, or pointed us in the direction of Malada, which is an Ayleid ruin that we can find if we then take the road up. So that's going to be our next destination. But we have been having something hanging over our heads lately. The fact that we're almost about to hit level, and we're gonna need 6 levels of strength, 6 levels of agility, and those are the ones. I can't really be bothered to train personality because it's going to be more efficient for us just to let that naturally grow instead of grinding out the final few points, because then we might up with on some levels where we just get +1 instead of a +2. So Tunsius is going to be our man of the hour, because I'd like to buy a couple of supplies before we go.
Go ahead, please.
Is it unsettling having 2 deer heads on the wall behind you? Do they make you feel warm inside?
What can I interest you in?
Like, yes, you killed me, but that was a good shot. If we're gonna be doing some haggling, and we're gonna be doing a lot of shopping right now, or we're gonna be buying a lot, because I want to train marksman to get our agility up instead of sneak, because sneak is currently going to take quite some time to get up.
Well met.
While
have a look at my wares.
If we get ourselves,
I'm sure there's something to suit you.
What's the cheapest bow you have? You don't really have any cheap bows, do you? Just a glass bow? I guess we'll stick with Vermina's vision then and use that as a bow. I'm gonna be buying
You're a fine negotiator.
Some arrows.
You bought that for us.
We're gonna be needing plenty of those if we wish to train up as much as we can. 1 steel arrow. I'll take it. I think I'm the one who gave it to you, but still. I'll take it, good sir.
Take it.
So we're gonna make sure that we stock up on a couple of arrows. Also that we get our fists ready, because we're gonna be fisting some mudcrabs near the shore. Sounds like the name of an adult-rated film.
Let's do business.
Dwarven arrows.
I can't do that.
Oh, you can't do that? That's because I haven't buttered you up yet, Gundalas.
Well met.
There we go, the blessing of another wood elf on you.
What can I
How does it feel? The betrayal.
A fine
Dwarven
bargain.
arrows, elven arrows, iron arrows. Wonderful. That's quite a lot too. How are we looking on repair hammers? I think we have, yeah, we have 33. We have plenty at the moment, so that's all good.
Take care.
I thank you. Here we always get the best goods and guarantees. Even though if he guarantees having the best prices, he's wrong. He's not a very good merchant, but that's okay. He's what we have. He's our discount Thornir. Not quite as good, but we'll make do with him in emergencies. It's actually been quite a while since I sat down with Oblivion. Studies have kept me really busy, and I believe it's been a month and a half since I recorded the last episodes, which you won't really notice because I record a lot in bulk and then I upload them over a period of time where I know I'm going to be busy, so the gap is not as noticeable, but I can feel it myself because I'm like, okay, so what buttons did what exactly? Is this, oh, that's Fortify Restoration, oh nice. This is Traveler's Grace, oh nice. You gotta remember everything again. So, let's take a little trip down by the shore near the Topal Bay, because the bay often holds mudcrabs, and those are the ones we are looking for today. Just so we can get ourselves a little bit of experience. Let's see if we can sniff out some mudcrabs. I smell them. They're somewhere nearby. While we're down here, we can also grab the Nern root that are in the area. Oh, I hear something. Is that a muddy mud crab? Well, let's just get this while we're here. I see a will-o-wisp over there. That's not what I'm looking for. Whoa, is that a chest? Oh, how come I didn't notice that until now? A gold piece and a silver bowl. That's pretty great. We found the treasure of the world's poorest pirates. Well then, mister, how do we want to do this? I think we're gonna get Vermina's vision, which is not really gonna impact him too much in a negative way. I think it's gonna be quite okay. And then we're going to equip some arrows and do our best to wear him down. Now, we would want to wear as much shielding gear as possible to actually... I think we can jog around him a little bit. I think we would be okay. But there we go. Now we have full protection. And I don't know if there's anything else we would really want. We have that. We have our arrows equipped. And any spells that we would want? Yes, of course. We would want the Undying Touch so we can actually keep this Mudcrab alive. We're going to put that on 8. Alright, and we're going to cast it on you. And then yes, it's going to make him flee for a split second, but we only have like 18 charges on this bow. There we go. So this is going to be a little tedious, but of course, whenever I'm going to be taking care of this stuff, I do it off screen. So, here comes the rain. Wonderful. This is going to be great. All right. See you in a bit. Okay, there we go. Finally got that out of the way. You can see the stats right here. I actually I didn't run out of arrows, but I ran out of bows. The bow broke and I realized I couldn't actually fix it, so I was like, I should have bought more bows, more regular bows, but then it struck me, I couldn't have fixed those up because of armor would have pushed me to a level pretty quickly, so yeah, all of that sort of fell apart, but that's okay. Let's not think about that. We got some sneak practice, did some mysticism and restoration in the middle of it too. We're completely out of charge, so we gotta start filling up our weapons again. Luckily, we should have a couple of creatures along the coast who are willing to do that for us. They're so kind. They're so kind and giving, and oh, I swear there's probably a Mudcrab out there somewhere. Well, he can come to me. There we go. That should be most of the Nern routes along the coast on this side. I swear, I'm just gonna start sapping the water. Are you out there? Oh, there you are. Hey there, mister. Boom. Wonderful. So, where do we go from here? Well, I have it on good authority that the Serpent Stone actually resides over on this side of the lake. So, we're going to quickly make our way across by using our wonderful water jumping ability. I believe don't we have something that can let us walk on water now? I think we have an amulet that does that, but amulets, who really needs them? I actually probably should equip it. That seems like it would be quite useful in this circumstance. I don't need to show off like, hey, I can jump on water. It's like, yeah, I know. This is a lot easier, and we get to train athletics, and athletics is more important to train compared to acrobatics. Whoop, boing. Hey, Mr. Mudcrab. Regarding this, were ya? Jim. Gotta appreciate Jim. Every time you enchant an item, you hear the gods themselves call upon him. Jim. He's a great guy. He's always been looking out for ya. Well, I did have something that I wanted to talk about, and well, at this point it's probably been a little over a month, but it's something that I know a lot of you are curious about and a lot of you have asked me about, but I haven't really had a concise answer, because I don't like giving concise answers. I like saying, we'll see, maybe, perhaps at a later point, who knows, because I don't like shackling myself down with promises. Oh, that's a troll. Oh boy. And that's in regards to whether or not we would ever do this challenge with a certain other Elder Scrolls game. That's right. I'm talking about the Elder Scrolls Redguard, the greatest game of them all, flawless game design through and through. I'm actually talking about Skyrim, if you couldn't tell, which I'm sure you could. Would I ever do a Champion of Skyrim challenge? It would probably be called something else, like the Savior of Skyrim, or something that is a bit more appealing to the tongue. First and foremost, before we get down that rabbit hole, let's look at the Serpent Shrine, which gave us the Cobra Dance Greater Power. Let's check it out. Paralyzed for 5 seconds on target, and damage health 4 points for 20 seconds on target. That could be pretty good on a target that has been sufficiently weakened. That could freeze them in place while their health drains. It's not rubbish. We could definitely be getting a lot better, but I don't hate it. Alright, let's just wrap up this place by grabbing the few Nirnroots that are down here by the shore, you know, while we're in the area. So, about a month ago, I love planning projects. I love thinking of... I tend to get very excited about projects, but I know that a lot of preparation has to go into it, and I need to be 100% certain that this is something I'm willing to go through with before I do it. See Kjor Season 3 for reference, which was a project that I did in Skyrim, which was very ambitious. It took elements from my other seasons of Kjor, Season 1 and Season 2, and just tried to make everything bigger and better and more awesome. And I made 3 episodes and then just had a major burnout because I couldn't keep up with everything, plus a couple of other issues on the side, and it just fell apart. So that's why with the Champion of Cyrodiil, I did like 68 episodes before I ever posted anything to YouTube, because I didn't trust myself. I was like, are you sure you're willing to go through with this? Are you sure you can go through with it? And I just needed to be sure. So it's the same thing with Skyrim. The reason I don't give a definite answer is because I don't know if it's going to be feasible for me. There are a lot of positive additions to Skyrim compared to Oblivion, and a lot of negatives in regards to doing a challenge like this. So let's talk about that. First and foremost, one of my gripes with Skyrim compared to Oblivion is the combat. Now, I know it's not realistic to be able to backflip your way through the land and have supersonic speed and jump in the air and toss out 3 spells, but it feels good. It's fun. I love the combat in Oblivion. It's super simplistic. I far prefer a game like Dark Souls with a much more robust system with difficulty and when you want to strike and such, but when it comes to Skyrim versus Oblivion combat, in a lot of ways, I love the... I'm just gonna ignore this freaking Mudcrab. I love the mobility in combat, especially on a difficulty like this, because you're able to dodge out of the way of things that are coming your way, and you're able to navigate in a much more... in a much better fashion. The thing about Skyrim is that it doesn't really have a speed stat. I mean, your speed is a little... It's determined by your race, and there are a couple of things you could do to increase your speed, but not really on a permanent basis in the same way that you can train up a skill, like train up the speed attribute in Oblivion. So combat feels... it's very grounded. It's a lot more realistic in Skyrim. You can't really move around. If 3 bandits flank you and you're taken by surprise, there's not really a good way out of there unless you have some sort of shout to project you forward, or you can step up on a lot of potions while you dodge their blows and try to run out of there. Skyrim in that respect is a lot more difficult when it comes to the combats. But at the same time, it's not... the legendary difficulty in Skyrim is easier than the 100% difficulty in Oblivion in terms of the damage scaling, because as you know, on this difficulty we do 1/6 of our damage and enemies deal 6 times their damage to us. In Oblivion, that scaling... in Skyrim, that scaling is a lot more forgiving, but it's countered by the fact that, well, in my opinion, combat can be a bit more tricky. So that was one of the main things that I wanted to check out when it came to Skyrim. What is the combat like? What is it like playing Skyrim on the most difficult difficulty? So I sat down, I played around, I did some notes on the side and tried to figure out what I really felt about Skyrim, if this was something that I was willing to do. And from my research, from my playing, I concluded that there are actually a lot of really fun things about the playstyle that I graduated towards when just testing out Skyrim that was not really present when it came to Oblivion. And I'm going to talk about that in just a sec. Just got to bring up a little map here so we can get an overview of the last couple Nern routes around Leyawiin. I think the first thought that came to me when I sat down and I tried to figure out, okay, if I made a series on Skyrim, combat was definitely going to be an issue. How would I remedy that? And my first thought was followers. If you remember the start of this Oblivion series, we did not even enter our first dungeon of Vilverine until we got the summoning spell to get Scampy. Because you need somebody to be the punching bag, and on higher difficulties, in Oblivion, your summoned companions, or in Skyrim, your followers, do the regular amount of damage, despite it being on a high difficulty that nerfs your own damage, so they're just a natural go-to. So I went to Riverwood, got Faendal, and just went from there. And in general, playing on a high difficulty in a game is so freaking rewarding because you see the game in a new light. You have to plan out. If you hear a dragon above, you're frightened. I still don't know how we will handle dragons, to be honest. I never really got that far, but you're scared of every little thing that's out there that could potentially murder you. And you have to be very careful about how you plan, how you travel, how you approach situations and dungeons. And I'm not really into alchemy all that much in Elder Scrolls games, but as you've seen in this playthrough, I've really fallen in love with it because it's proven to be super beneficial for me. And of course, it's ridiculously easy to do in a game like this. Oblivion's not, it's not super advanced in that regards. And I tried out some alchemy in Skyrim. You know, you want to pick flowers as you go and get ingredients, and the whole play style, I'm not sure how I want to formulate this, but the whole playstyle felt very good. It was not like the Oblivion series. It was more of almost like an episode of this character's life, where we might start out in Riverwoods, get some supplies before we go out and collect some things, fight some things, and then we would return to that town later on. And it was a very positive experience for me. Now, the combat can be quite unforgiving, especially if you're facing up against several spellcasters and you're slow and heavy armor. You're just toast. You might as well just give up at that point. But in general, it was a very positive experience, and I had a lot of fun, and I saw a lot of opportunity for a good series there. Now, those are all the positives. I think it would be fun to do. That's great and all, but is it actually feasible to do? The thing about doing this series is that I would not be able to do it if the Wikia page for this game had not been as excellent as it is. The Oblivion Wikia page is filled to the brim with information about almost anything that you would wish for. I've yet to find a Wikia page that's more detailed and more clear than this one. And Skyrim's page is simply not as good. It's just not. And Skyrim's... well, one of the main things about this series is that we have a set list of goals to complete, and one of them is always do every quest. That becomes a lot more difficult in Skyrim, because not only are there more quests, the quests are more confusing, and we have the return of one of my most despised forms of quests, the Radiant quests. In Oblivion, you can get a Radiant quest... maybe I shouldn't go on a rant about it. A Radiant quest, if you don't know, is a quest that is not necessarily set in stone. While in Oblivion, if you go and talk to a certain quest giver, she'll tell you, oh, I lost my amulet over in Brookbarrow Keep. You must find it. And that's the quest for everybody. In Skyrim, certain quests are like, I lost my amulet in location X. If you retrieve it, I will give you reward Y. And they randomly generate certain elements of the quest. And I really don't like that approach, because it feels like I want handcrafted quests. I want quests to be made for me, and when they're randomly generated, first of all, it feels very obvious. If you've played Fallout 4 and you've ever been around Preston, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's I'm really, really not a fan of Radiant quests. So they would be a little difficult to keep track of, but I suppose it could be done. You know, if an NPC can give you 20 different variations of a quest, you just do it once and you consider that having been all the quests. But there are also a lot of mutually exclusive quests, like the Civil War storyline, and if you want to destroy the Dark Brotherhood, then you can't also do the quest for joining it. But it's a little similar to Oblivion, where certain faction lockout quests are impossible to do, but that only affects like 5 quests in this game. And Skyrim's list of quests is also a mess, because a lot of the quests are also very... Some of them are like super minor, where it's like, talk to this character, retrieve this one generic item for them, and the quest is complete. Is that a proper quest? That seems like a chore. Should we count that as a quest of... The logistics of the challenge is what I think is the most difficult. Let's just go in and clear Fort Redman before the episode is over. It's been a lot of collecting and a lot of training. We need some action, we need some killing. So getting a good grip of the statistics of the challenge, because you know I like to have an overview of things. I have a super clear overview of everything we've done in this challenge, what episode we did it, and what we have left to do. And that's a lot of hard work goes into it. But when you're provided with a very good overview of tasks that you have to do and information about how you can achieve them and a good overview. I wonder why I can't go into the... It's probably because I have my boots on. I would explain a couple of things. The Oblivion wiki has made it really, really easy for me to make the... Well, it's made it easier. It's made it possible to do this series. And I'm just scared that getting an overview of Skyrim's features would take too much of a toll on me. Hey, vampire. And I would be unable to actually complete it. I would end up disliking it because of it, or just never really getting it off the ground to begin with. So, yeah. Skyrim could definitely be fun. I have a lot of things that I could learn about Skyrim and its systems, and I think that could be a very, very fun time. Main problem is, it's the wiki page, getting an overview of the quests. There are a lot of decisions to make and a lot of research to be done, and considering how busy I am these days, I don't really know. It would have to be some other day where I'm in another stage of life where I have the extra time and the extra motivation to want to sit down and get it and properly get it done. So I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm saying it's a possibility at some point in the future. Well then, that was that out of the way. Hopefully that cleared up a couple of things. It's probably just 30-minute ramble. Just added to the confusion. Good job, Dark. You're good job. Let's just clear out Fort Redman, see what's up, see if we can manage to grab ourselves a couple of goodies. Got some vampires here. I think we'll still be keeping their ashes and bringing them back to the Imperial City. It just feels right. Getting rid of all the trash. Could probably jump up there, but there should be another way to get up. Oh, we didn't take this path. All right. Yeah. That explains it. Get out of here, Ratty. Coffin with a dark green shirt. You love that shirt, that man. Bury me in the dark green shirt. The Hall of Judges. Well, I will be the judge in here. Marina will be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Stop where you are. I can see you. Oh, get out of here. Whoa. Yeah. Get out of here, doggy. Yeah. Whoa. I mean, some vampires use magic. I could swap to another ring, but I think it's quite useful to have it on. Oh boy, he is bashing my head in. Good thing we have a couple of potions. Oh, what's going on? Why can I not move? Did he do something? I actually still think I have a disease that I've yet to actually cure up on. I should probably do that. Okay, did that not fix it? Can't seem to move. It's because I'm running into a wall. If you can't move, make sure to check the area behind you, because sometimes there's a wall there. And I don't know if you know this, but if you try to run into a wall, it doesn't really work because the wall is solid and will just reject your body. Look at everything else in this world. There we go. Thank you. I will... Ooh, Mesa siphoning, nice. I don't think that's worth getting. Gray robes. That's nice. They're quite generic though, and we wouldn't be able to get the hoods, so there's not really a point in collecting more of those, because you know how I feel about fashion. I need a complete set if I am to ever consider using it. Marina's quite picky like that, and I mean, when you're the savior of the world, it's okay to be a little vain, you know? Give me that. And boopy-doop. Get all of our health back and proceed further into the bowels. It's very quiet in here. Do vampires not make as much noise? Or is that just something that I'm imagining? Oh, she's not even wearing armor. Is she that confident? Let's see if we can sneak up on a vampire. I think they have quite good senses. Nice. Just a little test to see if we could sneak up on a vampire monk. And it worked out quite well. Almost wish I kept her alive a little longer just to see what she was gonna do. She had those fists ready. Ready to knock me down a couple of pegs. She never got around to it. Enemies rarely do. Marina's truly reached quite a high peak in power. And that's another reason the Skyrim series will be fun too, because it would be a reset of our power, and the struggle to get back there would definitely be real. And, oh boy. Another good thing about Skyrim is that the leveling system is more... It's less grindy. You don't have to worry about necessarily being optimal. I mean, in some ways you do, because you don't want to really stand around and level one skill up too much to the point where you're driven to a high level and everything is a lot stronger than you and you've just been training a skill like speech, you know? But it's a lot less involved in the fact that I wouldn't have to stand around and grind for hours until the end of the challenge if I still missed a skill that needed to go up, but that's acceptable. That's something I'm prepared to go through. I think that might be the leader. Looks like some glass armor, and yeah, just I think maybe a Daedric greatsword on his back. I'm not quite sure. But this goes back. But I didn't come from here. I came from here, so okay, so there are two paths then. Good, just want to make sure we have a mental map of the area. What's this? That also goes back to Fort Redman. I'm just a little curious. I think this is the final chamber, but I want to see where this goes in that case. That leads back to a place where I probably could have stopped by earlier, but ended up never. Right. Okay, so this is the way back. This would be the shortcut back after killing the boss. It's good to see that some dungeons in Oblivions have these shortcuts. Skyrim was really good at it, providing a alternative way of getting back. Uh-oh. I hear him. There we go. I want to let him attack so I could see him. Ugh. Before you leave, arrows of burning, bow of the blaze. I'm taking that. You can keep your blue suede shoes, though. I think I'll take the poisons. The glass. I mean, look at the glass boots. They're pretty good. I say. Could probably be. Yeah, let's grab it. Glass might be worth getting. Ooh, it was ebony. Tempest. I love the name of that sword. What is it? Is it crap? Shock damage 15 points in 10 feet on strike. Wow. Voltag is shock damage 16 points. 15 points in 10 feet. But then again, Voltag also has weakness to shock. It weighs a lot less. Alright, Tempest is cool, but I think Voltag would be a better choice for us. Plus it would swing a little quicker. What's up? Right, we actually came from there and then we jumped down. Okay, good to know. These are... Ooh, look at that, a fine steel dagger. I don't know if we're in the market for another one. If we get an enchantment in the future, we probably want it on a different weapon. Just to mix it up a little. Because this is always going to be Aetherius. Fine steel dagger will always be Aetherius. Now, do you have any booty? Aha! It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Oh, the Fort Redman key. I didn't pick that up. I've already picked every lock in this place. That's okay, though. That's okay. We did some exploration. Found a corpse. Almost took his hip bone, but decided not to. In the end, isn't that truly what matters? Well, it's been good being back, playing some Oblivion, and just getting back into it. Even if the channel has seen quite a lull in activity, know that I'm doing quite well. And I'm actually, in the times where I'm uploading very little, that's usually a sign that I'm doing quite okay. Because I'm busy with stuff, and that's a positive. So, I want to thank you for still being a part of this wacky, crazy journey. Who killed a slaughterfish in here? Probably the bandits, I would imagine. Should we make our way to the top of the fort? I think so. I'm tired of running around with arrows on my back. Should probably fix up Marina's vision, except that's something we cannot do. It's probably a bad idea going out into the world with a broken Vermina's vision, but didn't really want to run by town again, so that's just going to open up some possibilities. Ooh, wow, actually something good in a sack. Couldn't do that in Skyrim. 10 golds. Jewelry. Wow, okay, this rooftop is worth checking out. Strong potion of healing? It's almost better stuff here on the top than it is inside. That's quite something then. Ooh, do you think we can make that? Let's see. I would probably want a leap of faith over here. Let's see. Yeah! Almost jumped too far. Now that's... Oh, look at that. A stone. That's how it's done, Marina. Well, it's been another wonderful couple of days here in Cyrodiil. Marina's learned a lot, broken her hands repeatedly on hard mudcrab shells, and bashed her head against a rock trying to hide from subsequent mudcrabs. But then she finally got her revenge on people in Fort Redman who had absolutely nothing to do with her pain, but she still took it out of them regardless. And picked enough Nirnroot to make Sindarian quite pleased. We'll have to return to him sometime, but right now our eyes are set on the alien ruin of Malada. And that means we're going out into the wilderness. Have a still good day, take care, and stay awesome. But most importantly, everybody, stay dark. Goodbye.